If Breanna Stewart told WNBA players to freeze free agency, reject contracts, and prepare to strike, why did she turn around and quietly sign a $100 million deal while everyone else stayed locked out? This has left players asking one question: was this a labor fight or a setup?
It's important for people to understand that we get what's going on, but we also value who we are.
In December 2025, WNBPA members voted to give President Nika Ogwumike and the Executive Committee full authority to call a strike. That committee includes Breanna Stewart and co-vice president Nafisa Collier. This wasn't a symbolic gesture.
I think it's time is, it's always time, you know. I think I'm grateful that Sid used her platform to be able to talk about it. I'm asked these questions all the time, so I kind of feel like I talk about it often, but it is important for people to know that our salaries are the only thing that are capped when it comes to us negotiating the CBA.
This was players telling their leadership, "We're ready to sit out the entire 2026 season if owners don't pay up." Stewart addressed the strike authorization directly. "It's not something that we're going to do right this second, but we have that in our back pocket," which means that owners have one last chance to make a real offer before players walk away from the season.
So that is good. And we want things to work. Everybody wants to go to the same place. Everyone just has a different idea of how we get there. But it definitely starts with valuing the players in a way that makes sense for what we're doing out here.
League sources told ESPN the WNBA isn't considering a lockout. They believe both sides will get a deal done, and there will be a 2026 season. But that confidence feels misplaced when you look at how far apart the two sides actually are. Here's where the money battle gets ugly.
You have women out here who know the business, you know, and we understand where our league has been and where it's going. And we're prepared, you know, we're prepared, and we want to be able to come out here and represent ourselves and our value the same way we do on the court, in our contracts, in our facilities, and the standards of the resources that are available to us.
Players are demanding approximately 30% of gross revenue, with a salary cap around $10.5 million. The WNBA responded by claiming that proposal would result in $700 million in losses over the life of the agreement. League sources told ESPN that's more than the combined losses of the WNBA's first 29 years of existence. But sources close to the union completely disagree. The WNBPA believes their revenue-sharing model still puts the league in a profitable position. So either the union's math is wildly wrong, or the league is manipulating numbers to make players look greedy. The core disagreement is gross revenue versus net revenue.
It feels like it's going same old, and we're not making a lot of progress. So definitely, I mean, it's unfortunate, like the league, it's unfortunate. We obviously want to get a deal done. It feels like the league doesn't have that same urgency, and the deadline is quickly approaching. So, I feel like a lot of stuff has to get done. We're not close right now.
The league proposed a system where players receive in excess of 50% of net revenue. Net revenue means revenue after subtracting expenses. The WNBA argues gross revenue is inaccurate because it doesn't incorporate expenses needed to operate teams and the league. Players aren't buying it.
And also makes sense for the people that follow us and the fans that are supporting us. You know, we've seen a lot of growth recently, and so we have to see that being reflected in how we're compensated to continue to give you guys games like this every night. So I'm looking forward, to whatever meeting comes in the next 25 days with the league. So everyone needs to pay attention.
The WNBPA's position is simple. Players provide the labor and have no control over expenses, so they shouldn't be paid last. Owners can inflate expenses to shrink net revenue anytime they want. Gross revenue is the only honest measurement. Why did Stewart call it a slap in the face? In July 2025, Breanna Stewart went public with her frustration after seeing the WNBA's initial proposal.
But you could say that maybe we're holding out until the very end. And like October 30th, we'll agree to terms. But what probably will happen is there'll be like an extension and we'll have more time to talk about it, but it's going to push back everything else.
She didn't just disagree with the numbers. She called the entire approach insulting.
Yeah, I think yesterday's meeting was good for the fact that we could be in the same room. as the league and the board of governors and that type of thing. But I think, like, to be frank, it was a wasted opportunity.
The league basically ignored everything we said and came back with the same proposal, Stewart explained. Players spent months outlining their priorities, backed up with data about revenue growth, viewership increases, and sold-out arenas. Owners listened to all of it, then offered essentially nothing. Stewart pointed out the obvious contradiction. The WNBA just secured a massive new media rights deal. Attendance is at record highs, merchandise sales are exploding, yet owners claim they can't afford to pay players more than poverty wages compared to NBA standards. The league's approach feels like bad faith negotiating. Make players feel greedy for asking for a fair share, then claim financial hardship while revenue skyrockets.
So I'm appreciative to our player body, our player reps, and the women that are speaking out about this, and our board of advisors and PA staff, and what they're doing for us to be able to get to a successful collaborative negotiation with the league.
In January 2026, Breanna Stewart admitted on the Full Court Press podcast that the WNBPA's original strategy backfired. Players thought taking a visible, united stance during negotiations would pressure owners into a fair deal. Instead, it hardened the league's position. We were maybe too aggressive early on, Stewart acknowledged.
Really, to anybody, this is the best league in the world, and nobody's going to give you anything easy. And understanding that and learning how to play through it, at this level. They're the fastest, the strongest, the quickest, and that's why this is the WNBA. So continue to kind of pay attention to what we do, understand that, we're trying to bring our best basketball. When we're playing against other teams, we're obviously trying to win, but knowing that as a collective, we're continuing to bring this league to a better place altogether.
The public campaign about revenue sharing and player salaries gave owners ammunition to paint players as unreasonable. Now the WNBPA is recalibrating their approach while holding firm on core demands. But Stewart made one thing clear: players aren't backing down. The message to WNBA free agents remains the same. Don't sign anything until the new CBA is in place. That's why free agency is completely frozen right now. Stars who should be signing deals are sitting in limbo, waiting for the union and league to figure this out. Stewart laid out the players' position at unrivaled practice. While we are both seemingly far apart, there is a place where we can come and find mutual ground.
The next 3 days is tough for sure. I am very confident that we will get a deal done. It's kind of unfortunate that it's taken this long, but hopefully we're gonna be able to turn the page soon and really kind of get deep into all the negotiations that we've been struggling to agree on.
Thank you very much. She acknowledged compromise is necessary, but compromise doesn't mean accepting poverty wages while owners pocket record revenue. Paige Beckers, the #1 draft pick waiting to sign her rookie contract, explained the line players won't cross. There are some things we just won't budge on, and we think that we should stand firm in. And then there are things we think we can meet halfway on. Chelsea Gray added the reality of negotiating from a position of strength.
What do you think is a good starting point for vet minimum salaries in the WNBA collective bargaining agreement?
It's hard for me to give exact numbers. Honestly, we just want a salary system based on the revenue that we generate. It's based on that, working conditions for everyone. Obviously, we have a great facility here in Las Vegas, but I feel like everybody should have access to that. And then protecting our legacy, like the retirement benefits should be at an elite level. But as far as your question, a salary that reflects the revenue share, I think that's the most important.
There are compromises on both ends. There are some things that we're not willing to compromise on, so there's a standard that we won't go below. And so that means that we're having to wait a little longer to not go below our standard. Then that's what it is. In October 2024, Breanna Stewart made a calculated bet. She keeps signing one-year contracts with the Liberty instead of long-term deals. Her current salary is in the $208,000 to $241,000 range. That's poverty money compared to male athletes with her resume. But Stewart is copying LeBron James's playbook. Sign short deals, maintain leverage, force the franchise and league to keep improving conditions. If the new CBA dramatically raises the salary cap, Stewart positions herself to cash in immediately. If owners refuse to budge, she has maximum flexibility to explore other options. Where does this go next? On January 25th, 2026, Breanna Stewart joined other athletes protesting outside the WNBA offices, demanding progress in CBA negotiations. The status quo period continues with no end in sight. Free agency remains frozen. The strike authorization sits in the union's back pocket. Stewart's final message is clear. Players will negotiate in good faith. They'll look for compromise where possible, but they won't accept another deal that treats them like second-class athletes while the league prints money off their labor. The 2026 season starts in May. Either owners meet players somewhere in the middle, or we're looking at the first WNBA strike in league history. Drop a comment with where you think this ends. Do players get their fair share, or do owners force them to walk away from the season?